So I don't know whether I'm live already or not, because this is my first time ever. So welcome to this day number 15 of the 30 days map challenge, or 30-day map challenge. And we will take care of fire in terms of that. So we'll have a look at different items in QGIS. And first of all, we will extract data from OpenStreetMap. So therefore I'm using the quick OSM dataset, and that demands some key and value. And if we're talking about fire and fire stations, well, let's find out what are fire or fiery places, or fire stations. So let's dive into that and go to the OpenStreetMap editor. Let's have a look here. So we'll use this one. Just log in. I think you don't even need to log in. And let's go to Berlin right away. So a little bit, that was some item I've done from day 10 or something like that. And let's have a look here in Berlin. I know where a fire station is, so we will check it out here on the map. And so this here's a fire station, and it has a key value combination of building and fire station. All the others can be somehow ignored, so we will take this into account. So we will go with building, and as a value fire station. Now, if you talk about OpenStreetMap data is always either nodes. Let's have a look here in the advanced sections. Nodes, ways, or relations. In most cases, a fire station is something like a building, so it should be a way. But in fact, there is a chance that in some countries, maybe the street mappers will just drop a pin on the map and say, well, here's a fire station, and they don't make the effort to really digitize the building itself. So we'll stick with that, node, way, and relation. And there's one thing, we will go to canvas extent. First of all, let's check again the canvas extent, whether we are in the right extent here. So Berlin should be, oh, that's always so hard to see on the dark matter base map. So let's go here. Well, at Leipzig already, so that's not good. Let's go to Berlin. So we're looking for fire stations in that area. And the key question in the end is whether or where are areas in Berlin that are not well reachable by fire trucks in case of emergency. So that's what I'm trying to figure out and find out. And you can already see there's a special layer here in my QGIS project which I have prepared, but I will show you how to get there. So let's first get the fire station itself, fire stations itself. So that will take a little bit of time, and I hope that will work. And now we do have two separate data sets. So once fire station points, let's show the feature count and buildings of fire stations. Also here the fires, the feature count. So as you can see, it is a bit, there's some coverage. So some of the points are located where the polygons are, and in fact, I've already checked, all of the points are where the polygons are. So we don't need to take care of the points itself, because also if you look closely here to this polygon, maybe you will see that there are multiple points around that building. I don't know whether these are the entrances or whether there are some other features in the field. So we will just ignore the points itself. But of course, we do not have, well, Berlin is big, right? But large, but Berlin is not that large that you will face like 180 fire stations. So that's way out of scope. But we see another problem in the dataset itself, and so you can see it quite good here. So let's go back to the base map. So there are 3 items in OpenStreetMap. They all belong to the same fire station, which is a bit of a problem, right? Because we want to analyze, of course, the reachability of the surrounding of a fire station, but that would then result in multiple isochrone analysis for each of these building blocks, but this is an entity. So what we will do now, we will create a dataset that only has fire stations, despite the fact that there are 3, 4, 5 buildings at a place for that certain fire station. And we will do so by a little trick. So first of all, we will save the results of the fire stations. We'll make them permanent as a geo package, why not? So fire, let's call it raw, because this is a data set. Now this fire raw is in a WGS or in a projection system where we can make buffers, right? Also in that 4326 geographic coordinate reference system, but it is not that well suitable to create buffers out of it. So what we'll do, we'll simply just export it a second time, and let's call it fire underscore raw, and I'm using this EPSG code 25833, not 832. 832 is a quasi standard for Germany, but it is not the right UTM zone here in Berlin, so we'll go with 25833, which is UTM zone 33, according to the ETRS 89 steroid, no, geoid, and simply press save. We can remove that layer as well. And we will now create a buffer around that layer. A buffer with, well, let's say 100 meters. So we'll take that fire raw distance of 100 meters, and this will then create overlapping features. Let's go with run. Close this one, and I can see these 3 items here are overlapping. Here's a fire station or fire building from a fire station directly to another one. They are connected, right? And so on. So this is now, we still have that 178 features, but what we can do now is, due to the fact that they are overlapping, we can create a dissolve feature set. ChatGPT was just saying, create a dissolvement and then use multi-parts to single parts, but we will go another way because QGIS is already quite good at it, and we will go with dissolvement and just check whether there's some chattings. No one has joined yet, so let's go back to QGIS, and so we'll take the buffered layer here, dissolve fields. We don't need the dissolvement field, but we will keep disjoint features separately. We'll just press run, close that one. Let's have a check with the features count, and that's 127. Already quite a lot, or still quite a lot, right? But now we will also, as a matter of fact, we are just interested in the suitability maybe in Berlin, but therefore, first let's create a Voronoi diagram. You will see what I mean by that. So cannot even say that I'm using the dissolved. Because Voronois tend to take point data sets as the inputs. So first of all, we need to create centroids for our dissolved layer. Centroid, where is it? Sometimes it's just so badly organized here in the pane. So we will create centroids for a layer. We will use a dissolved layer as an input for the approach. Click on run, and we can already remove all the other layers, remove these layers. And these are now the centroids of the fire stations around Berlin. So, and now we can create the Voronoi diagram. Because if you clip it first to Berlin, so the fire stations around, if you clip it to Berlin first, then the Voronoi polygonal feature will just be as large as the rectangular extent of that layer then. So it will be inside the area of Berlin, and it will neglect the fact that if there is an incident around the edges or near the city border, of course, a fire station will be alarmed that might be around Berlin, and so the trucks will then rush into the city from over there. So we'll just go with this algorithm now, and these are now the areas where a fire station is located in the center. So you see some of them are quite near to each other and some are not. Right, let's make this here not as tough on the eye. So we'll just go with the red, tough on the eye, and then choosing red as a solid, as a basic color. That's a good one. And we will take no brush at all for the fill style and just use the reddish outline. So there it is. And this is Berlin, the surrounding. And you can see there are also fire stations really, really close to each other. If I remove that, there's just one little tunnel connecting these two locations here. I don't even know what this building is, so I've been there and it's just a small shed or something like that. But it's not me to decide, because we are just looking at where trucks might start from, right? And have a look at this. And most of the other fire stations are well mapped, and I can trust somehow the data set in there. So we are starting with this, and the polygons are saying, okay, this is the area that is covered, or that might be covered from a geometrical perspective from a fire station. But of course, fires or fire trucks that depart from a fire station, they are going on streets, right? And so let's have a look where they are starting and how they can go. Therefore, I'm using the HQGIS plugin. You will have a processing pane over here, and you can get isochrones for a layer. And what I've done, I'm using the centroids as an input layer. I'm using routing mode car and not truck by a reason, because trucks are not allowed and they have another dimension like normal cars. And so if I would use truck, I would assume that a fire truck cannot go there, but fire trucks are equipped with, well, they can reach nearly every corner of the city, because they are allowed to go where normal trucks aren't allowed to go. And I'm also well aware that we do not have a blue light mode of routing here, so it's just car, right? And it does not take really into account the possibility that a fire truck can rush through the cities with its horns on and stuff like that. So it might be a little bit faster than a normal car. But you know, I don't give a fuck. So I'm just using a car, and we will take a look at the distances here. So the distance mode is time. So I'm running with 2 minutes intervals, 240, 360, and so on. You can see the list on the left side. 720, 840, and 960, right? 960. So this will, and I've also done the analysis on the local departure time at on a Thursday evening or afternoon. I think it was 15 or 2 to 3 p.m. And this runs now through all the points, creates polygons out of it, where the truck can reach a certain point in a certain time. I'm not pressing run again, because this will just take too much time for a live stream, and the result is or looks something like that, right? So we'll just go here, and this is the overall polygonal set. I'm doing the visualization of the dataset by just saying, okay, I would like to have a categorized visualization depending on the distance. The symbol, I've removed the outer line, so simple fill, no line for the outer line, and I'm right-clicking here and getting the blues as the categorization. So this is the visualization, and now let's remove all the other features and start with 120 meters or 120. So this is the area a car can reach in 2 minutes drive time, right? And now let's set up 240, 360, increase the image a bit, 480, 600, there we are. Now you might ask yourself, okay, there are some places where a a fire truck cannot reach this place in, well, 600, so it's 10 minutes, which is quite a long time already, right? So let's have a look where these places are. Of course, the Tempelhof area is not reachable by any car. Well, a fire truck can go there, of course. He has the abilities to do so, and he has the rights to do so. But also these areas are not covered, but no one is living there, so shouldn't be a real problem, right? So I wouldn't bother that much, right? But there's one certain area that triggers me somehow. And this is this stretch of land here. So there's a lot of industrial space over here, but also city buildings, right? Houses and stuff like that. So it is not covered at all in the time of 10 minutes. So let's have a look whether the fire truck can reach that areas in 12 minutes. And still 12 minutes to go, no fire truck will reach this point. And it maybe after 14 minutes you will have a coverage, or you will have a firefighter reaching your place. And so this is not a real, or this is not a good situation at all. And but I think either my analysis is wrong, or, well, the fire department in Berlin has everything under control. There's a certain limit of time in the political sense, that you need to reach an area in the city in less than 8 minutes or something like that from a fire station. So the ambulance and stuff like that needs to reach a place in between 6 or 8 minutes. And of course, this is now Thursday afternoon, rush hour in Berlin, so the polygons are even smaller than they might be at 2 a.m. or something like that. So the reachability is a little bit decreased due to the heavy traffic around that time. But there are also other places where you will not reach that area in 8 minutes, according to this analysis here. So this is a good indicator, and it's good for city planning to do so. And now, as we are on the 15th day of the 30-day map challenge, let's create a real map out of it, or maybe a little GIF, right? So a little animation. So we'll start with the background map, dark matter. I like that background map more, and we will recreate this one here. Let's have a check whether the polygons might cover the area here. Or let's place the polygons on top of it. So that's a good frame for visualization, because you have a good delineation of the area you would like to cover, and you can see how the polygons of the isochrones are spreading through the animation itself. So we will go with that. Let's check one thing even more, because sometimes we would like to have the blues, or the darkish blue tones. So you can see it here, right? So you have a dark blue, and this is covering the distance values of this spot. So it's not pleasing to the eye. So let's go to the layer itself, have a look here on the control feature rendering order. And we would like to control it that the first, or the lower distance values are, we will find out. So let's go by this. So this is now always whitish on top and dark bluish at the bottom. Simply press scanning to see how this turns out. Press apply. Now we will only have blue on top. I don't like it, so it's not that, it's not appealing to me. So let's reverse this setting here. Go to descanning, okay. Apply. And also there's some hard outline of each of these polygons. And also there we can have some draw effects. Let's have a look whether we will go with an outer glow or drop shadow. No, outer glow, inner shadow. Let's remove the source and try this out. Let's say apply. Oh no. No color at all. So we'll stick with the source. Let's press on apply. We'll increase the spread a bit. But it's not that. Let's have a look with the inner glow maybe. No, it should be the outer glow. Oh no, that was a wrong one. And then modify, blend mode, lighten. Yeah, maybe this gives that a little bit of the feeling that these are not hardish lines in terms of mobility. So when I'm pressing 120, I can see that 240, 360. It's increasing a bit, right? I see some subtle color change. Maybe I need to increase that color change a little bit. It's a bit better. Let's go with the hard light maybe. Sometimes it's just playing around, having a look, right, and then just see. That might not be the right one. No, the subtract overlay maybe. Apply. Yeah, that looks good, but the changes are a bit subtle. Where you can reach the area and where you cannot. Let's increase the opacity. Yeah. Looks good to me though, so we'll stick with that. Just say okay. And once again, remove that other layer. So we'll start with 120 minutes. City center. And due to the fact that I have that layer here, that GADM 410, let's make a clip on the Voronoi polygons with the GADM layer. Because this will give us now the option to copy the style to the clipped one. There we are. Remove the Voronoi. So this is now just showing the outline of the city at all, right? And we don't need to take this hardish layer into account anymore. And you will see the pattern of Berlin and the Voronoi polygons. I'll remove the centroids because they are not really of interest anymore. And just to get a noise view, yeah, it should be working. Okay, but maybe decrease the outer glow area a little bit, like to maybe 8. Or even 6. Let's go with 6. Okay. Why not, yeah. Let's try that. So what we will do now, we will create a new print layout. I don't give it a name normally, and we'll just place the map over here. So that's now the rendering map. As I'm a German guy, I love Dino 4. So this is now the map, and Berlin fits perfectly in it. Let's create a little label. Font needs to be in white. And we will, no, that was nice already. Yeah, stick with that font, and we will render it as HTML. So it's 30-day map challenge, day 15, fire. And I always have that tune in my mind. Day 15. There we are. Close this one. Render as HTML, so we'll already have a little heading over there. Place this in the top. Scale the frame a bit so we're not interfering with the actual image that much. And this map shows the reachability of the city, or let's call it of Berlin, by 2 minutes intervals. Yeah, that's good. By 2 minute intervals. Most of the city is reachable in between. What have you found out? Was it 6 minutes or 7? 6 minutes? No, this is 12 minutes now. So we need to go up to 14 minutes. So we will also place that here in the text window. 14 minutes from a fire station. On a Thursday afternoon. So this is the text. So this is good. We will add some margins here because otherwise it's just directly located at the corner of the map, which is not good. And yeah, now the map is already updated, so we'll go back to the map itself, remove the OSM standard, remove all the other feature lines here, and we somehow need a little indicator on the right on what items do we see. So is it now 2 minutes, 4 minutes, or so on. So we will create a little rectangular text field as well. And I know there are some options to do that automatically, but due to the fact that we do not have that many, not so many maps to render here, I will do it by hand because I don't want to get into. So we will start with that, 0-2 minutes. Once again, we need a whitish color. And we will make the head a bit bigger, just so everyone can see. This here is this is not affected by the margin we have applied, because as it is rendered by HTML, I need to assign the paragraph section over here, otherwise it will not be taken into account. And also the font can be a little bit bigger, because otherwise it's way too small. Now we're interfering with the map. Yeah, but we'll stick with that to the right. Maybe we can change the position of the map a little bit to the right. There we are. So that's much better now. So we have 2 minutes. The text field here on the right. Just make it a little bit, yeah, much better. Now there we are. So this is the map we will use. I don't know whether you really need a scale. I don't like these standard scale bars because, yeah, I don't know whether it adds so much value to the map itself. But let's go with that and have a nice check with the appearance. Primary fill should be white then. Oh no, it's just the bar itself. But we need to assign some other colors to the font itself. So once again, we need white, or we will take white. So this is it, and but also the primary fill needs to be addressed. So we'll go with the, yeah, maybe like this, just fine. You always need to keep in mind, you know, like it is distinguishable, which is good, right? And so don't overcomplicate things by just adding stuff you really not. You're taking too much time maybe to define and find out, and yeah. So sometimes it can be that easy. We're not playing around with the color here that much. The map is already northerly aligned, so I'm not adding a north arrow at all. And yeah, this map shows the reachability of Berlin by 2 minutes intervals, most of the cities. So there's some text missing. 4 fire trucks. From a fire station on Thursday afternoon, yeah. Another paragraph, data from OpenStreetMap. Isochrones from here. The good thing about this here ISO or the here API is that you can get a lot of calls to the API by paying nothing, right? So it's for the most cases you don't need to really take care of your money, and it's just for free. So that's a map. I'm now exporting it, and we'll take the number 2. Now let's go with 4 minutes. Go to the map, assign a new color. Sometimes you need to go to the map itself and press here on refresh. So now it's refreshed. And once again, export it. 04, save. And then now it's not that really nice work to do. But sometimes it is like it is. So 6 minutes, once again, refresh the map to make sure that you have always the new items in there. 06. 08. I'm starting the numbers with an 08 because otherwise the GIF or the GIF itself, is it called a GIF or a GIF? I don't know. It is just overlaying these images, right? And I think it's more compelling to the eye if everything is already in place and it's just exchanged despite of having a new number there. So this is 8 minutes now. Press refresh again. Export. And I hope you're still with me. Let's have a chat. Look at whether there's some chat going on. No, there's not. Or maybe I don't know. Or maybe I cannot see it. So that's 10 minutes now. Go back to the map. Once again, refresh and export. We're really nearly there. Oh my goodness. I have too many files in my download section. Let's go to 14. And always the same game. So sometimes working with the GIS is not that, let's call it like rocket science, and so enjoyable at all, but it has some vibing in it, right? So it's just like chilling. You don't need to bother that much. Just simply work, create maps, have a better understanding of the area you're working with, see how things turn out. Let's create them, update the map first, and let's check with 16 minutes here right now. So I think that's also the last map I need to produce. And that's it for the moment. So now we do have, I think, 8 maps, 8 PNGs, and I'm normally using EasyGIF to create these animated GIFs. I know there are some standard tools on a Mac or on other computers, but I'm just simply creating GIFs out of these PNGs. So I'm uploading the files. Shouldn't take that much time, but it always depends, of course, on the file size itself. So we have 6 megabytes per file, around that. You just need to make sure that in the end it is also, sorted correctly, that the GIF itself is looking good. But I think it already has the right order. So in terms of this, and this, it looks good to me. So there are much more spaces in here than here. So this should be really the last one. We are taking all of the frames. Maybe a bit harder delay time. So crossfade frames. No, I don't want to. It's looping forever, which is good. Make a GIF. Let's have a look. That's a good one. I like it. I like it a lot. So we'll take this, save the image, call it day 15, and we're done. So that's my take on day number 15, fire, and the 30-day map challenge. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you liked this session and you learned something. Take care and goodbye.